Clutch Trucker filmed before a live, furry, and finally warm studio audience. Yep, there's Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Well, we're going to do a little back and forth between the dash cam and this shot here while I'm driving. Just got my camera sitting up there, camera phone sitting up there in front of my GPS right now. So those of you who say, oh, you shouldn't be looking in the camera, it's the same as me looking at the GPS. It's right there. I'm still looking right down the road here. But yeah, we got some snow here in western Nebraska right now. But wanted to do an update on the whole breakdown situation. Did get a new radiator put in. If I had had to go to a Freightliner, it would have cost me about $3,000, and they probably couldn't have gotten to me for at least a couple days. So the good news is, got it done yesterday afternoon. Got the whole thing done. So they got the radiator that morning. I went and dropped the trailer at Casey's, came back, and they got me in. You know, if you saw my previous videos, we were pretty cold. Rusty and I were pretty cold. We had to wait outside with the engine off, but they got her done, so I was able to pick up my load last night in Cedar Rapids, and now we're getting on down the road. Delivered tomorrow morning in Aurora at Kroger, which kind of sucks. Every time I've been there like 8 hours or more. And I really can't spend more than a couple hours, so we'll see what happens. But some of you did ask how much the repair was. $1,750-ish. The radiator itself was like $916, and then the rest was labor. But not a bad price. Like I say, a Freightliner would have been about $3,000, and they wouldn't have been able to get me in. So this is a shop that my dispatcher Bo recommended, and thanks Bo for that. These guys work on a lot of the turquoise trucks for the owner-operators and so forth when they come through, and I will definitely be using these guys again. Saved my arse. The name of the shop was Do's, D-O''S, alright? Do's Truck Repair. They're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's kind of just a little bit north of the Casey's and the Quick Start, but off of that same 6th Street Southwest. They did a great job. They did a great job. You steering wheel holders, you may not like a place like this because it's a small, little independent, you know, shade tree mechanic kind of old style building. It doesn't look all polished and professional like a Freightliner or a TA or Petro. But I tell you what, I love those little kind of places like that because those places are where the old school guys work. They know what they're doing. They get the job done right. They can usually get it done quicker, better, and cheaper than like a TA or Petro or a Freightliner ever would. And that's also why, like in Cheyenne, I tend to have most of my major work done at Sapp Brothers there in Cheyenne. Great old school shop there, old school guys. They always take care of me. I don't go to the Freightliner in Cheyenne. Never go to Floyd's Freightliner in Cheyenne. The crooks rob you blind, baby. So here's a little tip for you on that. But yep, now battling the weather, the snow again. The roads haven't been too bad overnight. I've been driving overnight most of the way here after I got loaded last night, and now is the first time I've really run into the snow. But and it's cold as hell. Or to quote Foreigner, it's cold as ice, willing to sacrifice my love. Anyway, yeah, it's last I checked the Weather Channel, it said feels like 25 below zero. Yeah, and it does. It's freaking cold out here. Yeah, it's looking kind of hairy out there. The roads are still pretty good. At least now it's daylight, so I can see really whether or not the roads are icy or not. I had them change out my, I've only got one fuel filter on this truck. It's that Davco spin-off fuel water separator. That's the only fuel filter I have on here. And I had them change out one of those last night because mine was gelling up from all that yesterday, all the cold, and the night before. And that was working great until I stopped in York, Nebraska this morning to grab a shower. Came back out and it's already starting to gel up. It's just this weather is tough on diesel trucks. So I'm going to stop up here at the TA in Ogallala and grab a couple more of the fuel filters. When I get parked today, I'll go ahead and swap that out. Maybe if I feel like it, I'll show you how to do that on some video. It's a really easy filter to change. Just takes a couple of minutes at most. And that's the one that, at least in this truck, if I start to kind of stutter, and I can't even get all the way up to 75 miles an hour because it's gelling up. I'm only holding about 70, 72 right now. So I'm going to grab a couple more of those filters so I have one to swap out today when I get parked. And then if I'm trying to make it down to Aurora in the morning, Denver, and it gels up on me again, I can pull over and swap it out one more time. You need to have a special little wrench to get the bottom of that thing off. I bought mine on Amazon a couple of years ago for like, 10 bucks, 15 bucks. Keep it with me. Like I say, I usually carry some of those extra filters, but I've used all my extras in the past couple of weeks because it's been so freaking cold. But I'll try to get some video and show you how that's done, because it's a real easy thing to change. No need to pay a shop for that, because they're going to charge you either a half hour or up to an hour labor to change that out, and it's something anybody can do. It's super, super easy. The weather actually looks a lot worse, than it is today. It's because it's all kind of overcast, and it's this really light, fluffy snow because it's so cold. That's when you get this little tiny snow that's just really kind of light. It can make the roads real slick if you're not careful. So you do need to watch for that. So as I'm getting off the exit here to make it to the TA to grab my filters, thought I'd show you what this looks like. Okay, just bought a couple of these filters. This is what they look like. Come in this bag. This is a fleet guard. This is the gasket that goes around the main cover. This little gasket is the one that goes on the little top cap you spin off. This is the bottom where the fuel comes back out. It sucks through this, and like I say, these things clog up in these cold temperatures. So that's why I want to have a couple spare. Because this can save you a road call, this can save you a tow, and like I say, mine's already starting to gel up, so I think I'm going to go ahead and try to swap this one out. Let's see if we can get it on some video here. You can see what it looks like out here. This is not going to be the most ideal situation to do this in. The snow is blowing. It's a little tiny fine snow. You can, if I put it against the side of that truck, you can see it. So, well, we'll give this a try. Alright, got the hood all open. You can see the new radiator in there, by the way. Those ridiculous plastic sides. Gotta love it. Anyway, here's the fuel filter that I gotta change out. And so that's what we're gonna try right now. Looks like I might need to add a little bit more coolant while I have this open. So we'll get started. Okay, first off, here's my little tool. It's kind of like a tennis racket, doesn't it? This is how we get that off. First, we're going to take the cap off the top. Alright, take that off, set that aside. You need to have an empty jug to drain your fuel into. That's why I'll just leave an extra old washer fluid jug. And there's the spout underneath and a little valve I turn. Stick that on there. Turn the valve. And you see the fuel draining down. So we're going to need to use this fuel again when we're done. Now we use the tennis racket looking thing to pull this off. That pops off of there. Get my trash bag handy. And then that rubber piece likes to stay on there, and I found I always have to do it barehanded to get it off. There we go. That goes in the bag. Okay, here's our new filter with its rubber piece in the bottom already there. So we stick that on that little post as best we can. There we go. Here's the rubber grommet from the old one. Stick the new one on. Just stretch it around in its place. Over the top. And that one we put the ring back on. There's a spring in the top, so we're pushing down on that so we can get the ring into position. Tighten it down by hand. Put our wrench back on there again. Get it nice and tight. We're swapping out the rubber piece for the cap as well. First we gotta pour fuel in there. Put that cap back on. And that's got a clicky cap so you know when it's tight. Alright, now we gotta start it up and rev it real good so that it gets the fuel primed again. Once you can get it to hold for a good 30 seconds or so, then you know you're all right. Come on back up. There it goes. I think we just about got it. All right, well that was nasty doing it in this weather out here with the snow blowing and as freaking cold as it is, but got that swapped out, so hopefully that'll get me through the rest of the day and into tomorrow. Sheesh, God, I can't feel the tips of my fingers. It's so cold out there. But downside of this is, of course, hell yes, your hands smell like diesel fuel. So when I get parked, I'm gonna lather my hands with some wipes, and then when I get parked at the TA Express and Brush, I'll go in there and lather the crap out of my hands. Hopefully they'll have that Gunk Joe or Go Joe or whatever, the industrial strength soap, and I can get rid of the smell. I'm getting high off of this stuff. I do want to mention I didn't use all the fuel that I put into that jug, so what you do is you just simply unscrew your fuel cap on your tank and you pour the excess fuel back into your tank. That's all you got to do with that. So I'm going to take my other filter, stick it in my side box. It'll be ready to go in case I need it, you know, later tonight, tomorrow morning when I try to make the final trek into Aurora. Well, that helped out a lot. Already it's got more power. It seems to be running a lot smoother. So, I'd say 25 bucks for the filter, which is more than I like to pay for them, but TA's charge more. We got it done, so it's getting me down the road a little bit better. The weather conditions out front don't seem to be improving too much. A little more snow than I was expecting at this time of my trip, but just have to make it a little further up the road here to Brush, Colorado is where we're going to stop. Have that TA Express for the night. Get going early tomorrow morning and make it into Aurora for the delivery, and hopefully they won't hang me up forever. Nice to be warm again, huh, Rusty? Yeah, it was cold yesterday when we had to sit out there and wait with the truck off, and then once we got into the shop, then it was so cold still, and yeah, I got under the covers with me and Rusty until we finally warmed up later that afternoon, and crazy. But yep, radiators repaired, finally fixed. We were able to get back on the road. I had to stop and add some more coolant a couple more times. That happens when you do a radiator. I mean, you can top it all the way off, but then, you know, there's air in the whole system, and so once it's circulated and you've been driving a while, that level goes down again. You need to add some more. So I had to add a couple more gallons. And just as I got here to Brush this afternoon, or today, this morning, whatever it is, Friday morning, I bought another gallon, so I have that ready, so just in case, we'll be all set to go. So I've got that. I've got another filter for the fuel filter thing. We should be all covered, right? So hopefully we can go deliver tomorrow and then make it home. That's the goal. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please like and comment if you would like to. Ring the bell for notifications so you know when new videos come out or when we go live, something like that. Check out Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter. I try to do more daily little vignettes on that one. The last couple days I haven't, honestly, because I've been dealing with a little bit of crap. What do you think? And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and a finely warm Rusty out. Well, and once they cancel this flight, which they will, you'd have a better chance of playing pickup sticks with your butt cheeks than getting a hotel room. There he is, being the typical meatball that he is, Rusty, the meatball dog.